Hello and welcome to Threefold Herbal Healing. I'm Herbalist Leo. I help people who, I like to say, sick and tired of being sick and tired. People who are struggling with chronic conditions for a long time, sometimes decade even. And they come to me and I help them grow their health from the roots up. And today I wanted to speak about liver conditions. Now, I'm not speaking about the complex liver diseases. I'm speaking more of liver imbalances that might affect us without us being actually aware of. But overall, they affect our digestive system, our immune system. They might create allergies. They might create skin conditions, skin eruptions. Um, so I'm talking about those mild liver conditions that many times we don't pay attention to. Last week, I described how the liver functioned as a master chemist that produced, stored, and detox chemicals and compounds from the body. You will better understand what I'm talking about actually if you go back to last week's video and watch it because I explain a lot of the functions of the liver and what it does. It's important to understand what the liver does before you actually go into what's going wrong. Liver conditions can develop due to genetic predispositions. So that means that some people are born with a robust liver that can function very well, while other has all kinds of sluggish liver, liver that is slow. Lifestyle have a huge effect on the liver. So your sluggishness might be genetic, but it also might be due to your lifestyle. If you drink every day, you will probably have a sluggish liver because the burden of work on the liver is heavier. The liver have about 500 function, but we can group them to three tasks. The liver either produce compounds, it stores compounds, and it's detox compound. So now let's go and check what can go wrong. What can go wrong in the production facility? Colitis happens when the liver reduces or altogether stop producing bile. Now I talked last week about bile and how important it is for forming our poop and helping with preventing constipation, but also with metabolizing fats. So bile is important, and when the liver stop producing bile, it might be due to inflammation, it might be genetic, but it also might be due to certain medication. Some of the medication are hormonal medication that inhibit bile production. Oral contraceptives and estrogen therapy that a lot of women in their midlife are using inhibit bile production. Statins interfere with bile production. Some antibiotics, not all, but some, and some medicine that are subscribed for high blood pressure and heart rate, calcium channel blockers and ACE inhibitors. So if you have, because some people can't go around it, they have to take those medications. If you have to take those medications, and even if you don't, you want to support bile production. You do it by eating bitter food and herbs. Okay. The liver also is important in storing. It's like a warehouse that store a lot of compounds for the body and release them when the body needs them. So it's like any warehouse that you know. What the problem that can happen can be too much to store in a place that is not big enough, or the doors of the warehouse might be stuck and you are trying to go in and get something from inside the warehouse, but the doors are stuck and you are unable to reach. And the third thing that could happen is that the warehouse just open the doors and throw out a lot of stuff, and it's too much and it's overwhelming. So let's see what can happen. One of the things that the liver store is glucose. The liver function as glucose storage space, storing glucose as glycogen. So glycogen is a type of glucose that is stored like in a box. Malfunction in glucose storage and utilization can occur due to genetic condition or a storage crisis. Storage crisis with glucose can happen because of excessive caloric intake, such as in the case of obesity. Genetic storage conditions such as glycogen storage disease, it is disease where the body have a problem in either storing the glucose inside this box that we call glycogen, or in breaking down the box when we need the glucose in order to fuel the cells. The result is an abnormal glycogen storage in the body on the one hand, so you have a lot of glycogen in your liver, but not enough glucose in the blood. You have too much, you have a lot of time it looks like an enlarged liver where there is a lot of glycogen, but there is an energy crisis in the cells because they don't receive fuel from the liver. A more common storage issue is non-alcoholic fatty liver, a condition where excess caloric intake is stored in the liver as triglyceride. When the liver produces more triglyceride than it can export to other fat, to your hip, to your stomach, to your hands, wherever it exports your fat, it gets stuck with all this triglyceride in the liver, and you develop what we call non-alcoholic fatty liver. In some cases, a high demand and loss of supply of choline is the problem. Choline, it's kind of the truck that you load out on the triglyceride in order to maneuver it in the body, in order to export it. But when you don't have enough of those trucks, those triglycerides get stuck in the liver and accumulate there. At other times, dysbiosis leads to gut bacteria. Gut bacteria that produce excess short fatty acids. So you have imbalance in your gut bacteria, and you got gut bacteria that produce really excess of fats, which must be processed by the liver. And then your liver need to process more and more fats, which is a metabolic burden on the liver. Non-alcoholic fatty liver can create vicious cycle with insulin resistance. On the one hand, excess liver fat contribute to insulin resistance. On the other hand, insulin resistance can impair the liver's ability to regulate glucose production. So the resulting metabolic dysfunction further promote accumulation of fat in the body. That's what happens in obesity. But the liver also stores iron. What happens with iron? What can go wrong with iron storage? The liver is the primary storage site of iron in the body, and it stores it as ferritin. So if you did a blood test and they look at ferritin, that's what they are looking. Problems may arise when the liver hormone hepcidin fails to regulate iron metabolism properly. So you start to have a buildup of iron in the tissue. Too much iron in the blood lead to toxicity and inflammation because this iron oxidizes. Basically, it's become rustic. And that makes inflammation in the body, joint pain, depression, diabetes, and heart disease. So you don't want excess iron. You don't want too much iron, but you don't want excess iron. The liver stores also fat-soluble vitamins. It stores vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. All of them very important, and I talked about them last week. So a healthy liver really makes balance in the body for those vitamins. What does it mean? It means that it wouldn't release too much of those vitamins into the blood because then they will become toxic. But also it means that it won't withhold too much in the liver because then you will have deficiency in the blood and you will start to see deficiencies in cells function. So the liver really maintain a healthy balance between the storage place and the body and really provide what the body needs when the body needs it. Not, it needs to be regulated. Okay, and then what can really go wrong with detox? I talked a little bit about it last week, but let's go over it again. The liver is the primary organ of detox in the body. It can become congested for many reasons. Again, genetic plays a role, but also exposure to chemical toxins that can damage the hepatic cells, or if you had a liver disease, such as hepatitis, can create a sluggish detox. When the liver is clogged, the filtration of toxins from the blood slows down, leading to issues such as free radical damage, skin eruption, and allergies. So a lot of people don't know that when you have rash and eczema, it's not a skin issue, it's actually a liver issue. And in order to take care of the root cause, you need to dig down into the liver or your right side. There are two ways for the liver to lose its balance. Either it's excess or deficiency. Excess liver function happens when the liver pushed toxins into the first detox phase. If the first detox phase outpaced the second phase, you might end up with highly toxic compounds escaping back into the blood, resulting in those symptoms I just talked about, like congestion, skin issues, allergy, just feeling sluggish altogether. Sometimes people feel mood issues like anger, irritability, stuff like that. In deficient liver function, it happens because you were exposed to toxins such as drugs, alcohol, food additive, pharmaceuticals for some time now. And the liver is just tired. The liver is sick and tired of detoxing for you. The burden is too much. How will it look? Sluggish digestion, fat intolerance. You might feel nauseated, especially when you eat fat. A chronic constipation, and increased chemical and food intolerances. And for some people, if it gets really far, they will have the yellow eyes and skin. Supporting the liver detox function is really part of a whole care plan of a healthy lifestyle. You want to generally reduce toxic overload, which means really reducing your exposure to toxins. So the burden on the liver is not that heavy. You want a nutrient-dense diet that supports the liver with all the nutrients it needs in order to function. You want it to move. You want to sleep well, and you want to follow the circadian cycle with your the timing of your meals and the timing of your rest, because it just helps the liver. It just supports it. You know, everything has a time under the sun. There is a saying like that. Okay, next week, I will share detailed support plan to support your liver's innate capacity to detox. So you have to believe it. It's an innate capacity. The liver is doing it for, I don't know, more than centuries, a lot of time. And it has a wisdom in it. And you pushing it, it's not wise. I want to emphasize, I don't believe in detox program, as I don't believe in detox protocols. In some cases, I believe that they can do more harm than benefit. I believe in a lifestyle. every day, not for a month, not for 6 weeks, not dry January. Every day, no spring detox. I believe in a lifestyle that support the liver natural capacity to detox every day, all day. More information next week when I will talk about detox as a lifestyle. Stay tuned and thank you for watching me. If you have any questions or comment, I would love to hear from you. Leave them in the comment place under. And also press the like and subscribe. Have a good day. Bye.